Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about today for the daily video, so let's get right to it. You can see that we've still got about 40 minutes left before the US markets close, and things have just been all over the place today. Oil is creeping up to that $90 mark once again. It's just been kind of hovering around 89 and change all day long, and has just been all over the place. So pretty interesting stuff. The Dow and S&P have been just all over the place. The Dow started out about 60 points in the positive, went down a whole bunch into about 60 points and then negative, and ended up coming right back up to close just probably around 100 points in the positive by the time we get to the close. So really been a big up and down day, and we're definitely going to see that on the charts. Bernanke spoke today. We had some QE3 speculations and some of that stuff, and kind of the same old song and dance that he always gives, but the markets are digesting things a little bit interestingly. We don't have any news left today, so let's take a quick peek at tomorrow, middle of the week. Unemployment claims for the UK, that's a bit of a mover. Meeting minutes for the UK, that's a bit of a mover. And then we have some more Bernanke talking tomorrow, as always, that's a bit of a mover. And then we have some Bank of Canada stuff coming out, and that's going to be, as always, that'll get the Canadian dollar scooting a little bit. So look at this right here. We have some interesting setups, and oddly enough, things have not changed that much since the daily video yesterday, except for now we have this little situation. And how does this all play in? So Bernanke started his speech right about here, got to the Q&A right about here, and then obviously things have ended right about here, which is pretty much where they where they started before his speech. Now there was two scenarios, and I talked about this in the group this morning. Either there's not enough optimism that QE3 is really going to happen, or um, or the markets are going to continue to anticipate it because of Bernanke's pretty down, pretty bleak speech that he gave today. That there's going to be that's going to be taken as a cue that the Fed is worried enough about things that they're going to try to sneak in some more easing. And it looks like the latter has been the case because we had this run down and then things have just turned around and run back up. But here are some important points to remember on this euro dollar. Double bottom, just like we had yesterday. Higher low, which we talked about yesterday, and now today we have yet another higher low. So it's kind of been arching up here just a little bit and kind of making its way higher. We still have this channel right here, which I think is important and interesting, and I think the euro dollar is headed into this 38% fib right here, which is the one we talked about yesterday, and that's at about 123.65. I think we're headed that direction. I think this is where the euro dollar is going. It's getting out of this channel. It's bottomed out nicely. You can see that very nicely with those check marks. That this is an area that is going to be holding for probably a little while. Not looking for a huge run, but I think we're going to get, 100 pips potentially out of this push to the upside. So as the market continues to fail to break below that, I think this euro dollar is going to head up. So basically what I'm looking for right here is I would like to see a little bit of retracement. I think if we can get back down to some of this consolidation, some of this 122.65 area, I think that'll be an interesting area to buy and keep some tight stops. This has been kind of a solid little area over the last 24 hours or so, and the market has broken it and so on, but it's still something to keep an eye on. So I think right around the 122.65 is an interesting area to start looking to get long and buy back up into some of these highs here and even beyond, but at least go for some short-term gains. So that's what I'm going to be looking for right now. If it starts to sell off, I'm going to have to see how the markets look and what's happening and what's going on. But at this point, I'm just looking to kind of get some retracement and get long in this euro dollar somewhere in the 122.50, 60 area. So that's what we're going to be looking at right there. You can see that all these other charts are really starting to kind of confirm that picture, and we should be able to get up there. Now, one thing that I will not be too surprised to see here is on this 5-minute chart, we have a little bit of a steep, actually quite a bit of a steep trend line that will probably break and give us a little bit of a small movement. And if that happens, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. That'll give us a little bit of a run down, probably into that 122, 50, 60 general region, and then should be able to continue on from there. So keep an eye on that. pound dollar, let's look at the bigger picture on the pound dollar here. It's broken this trend line. It's continuing, as we can see on the 1 hour chart, it's continuing to make higher lows as well. So we've got a pretty established uptrend, and you can kind of see that a little bit better there. And as this is kind of continuing up, there's a lot of support right down here, which is a little ways away now, about 70-80 pips away from current market price. There's some pretty decent support through that kind of central line. I still don't love the pound for any specific entry right this moment. It's a lot of wavy stuff, just like the euro dollar has been this whole week. The euro dollar has shot up and come all the way down, and shot up and come all the way down, and shot up, and so it's been kind of tough to get a good steady movement on there. And the pound has been a little bit of the same thing. It's been pretty up and down and all over the place. And so I still think I'm supporting a buy on the dips on the pound dollar, but I don't really have a great feel for what I want to do with it just yet. So we're going to skip it and kind of stick with the euro pairs, because I think there's a lot of interesting things happening on these euro pairs. Okay, and speaking of which, the euro yen, very good setup here. Again, on this 4 hour chart, same thing. It's starting to bottom out. Look at these areas right here where the market keeps testing. 4 times it's tested this 96.45 area and has been unable to open below it. Now this looks much more extreme on the 4 hour chart. On the 1 hour chart, you can see that it did make a little bit of a break here, but on that 4 hour chart, this was still it didn't open below this area right here on the 4 hour chart. So 96.45 is important on that 4 hour chart. But so is 97.25. We have some nice congestion and consolidation through there, and then we have a nice double top at 97.25, pretty much on the dot. So what I'm looking for here is I'd like to see a 1 hour candle open above 97.25. I think we get an open above this, and we should have a nice run into about 97.70, 75, which is kind of the next major resistance consolidation area up here, and that should give us a nice 40 to 45 pip run somewhere in there. So look for an open above 97.25. But I think this guy's ready to start doing some retracement. We had a pretty steady run down here, and if we draw our fib levels and have a look at all of this, we have that 23% fib level, which is, you know, right around 97.65-ish, and so that's where I'm looking at that 65-70, kind of 65 to 75 area. But then likewise, we have the 38% fib, which is about 98.35. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that and kind of looking at how the market behaves there. So we're going to be bumping around and kind of seeing what we can get and how we can get things moving. But look for the break of that, and likewise look for a 4 hour candle to open below 96.45. That would be a huge bearish signal, and this should be a nice bullish continuation with an open above there. And then last but not least, the Aussie dollar is kind of interesting looking in that it broke out of this channel, but it's right back inside of the channel again. You can see that this level, this is about 10300, and it's struggling a little bit on these with this level on the 4 hour chart and the daily chart. We need to get a nice clean clear open above this 10300 on at least the 4 hour chart, and then we should have a nice continuation up. So I just want to see a 4 hour candle open above that, which I don't think we're going to have too much trouble getting, and then we'll start trading this thing into some of these higher levels. We have lots of room to go if we can make a clean break of 10300. So we're going to keep an eye on that, look for that situation. Gold is a little bit of all over the place right now. It's been up and down and all around, so we're going to keep our eye on this one. But a break of 1595 and 1600 will be hugely bullish for most of the other markets, so keep an eye on those levels. And then best of luck, guys. We'll have some more trades posted in the chat, and we'll see you there. Thanks, everyone.